Hello, Miss Thinker here. Your daily source from mind-blowing facts, forgotten history, and powerful motivation. Today, I will talk about what if Earth had a ring like Saturn. Imagine looking up at the night sky, and instead of just stars, you see a glowing, shimmering ring stretching across the entire heavens, a permanent halo around our planet, visible every single night, brighter than the full moon. It would be beautiful, breathtaking even. But what if Earth actually had rings just like Saturn? Would life as we know it still exist? Would our climate change forever? Or would our planet become a much more dangerous place to live? Let's find out. Planetary rings don't just appear out of nowhere. They're usually the result of a cosmic catastrophe. They form when something like a moon or a comet gets too close to a planet and is torn apart by gravity. There's a special boundary around every large planet called the Roche limit. If an object crosses inside this limit, the planet's gravitational pull is so overwhelmingly strong that it rips the object to shreds. Instead of clumping together to form a moon, the material gets pulled into millions and millions of tiny pieces. Those fragments then spread out into a flat, wide disk. And that, my friends, is how you get a ring system. So let's imagine a dramatic event. A large asteroid, maybe a few hundred kilometers across, wanders too close to Earth. It crosses that invisible line, the Roche limit, and shatters into trillions of pieces of rock and ice. Within just a few days or weeks, a spectacular ring system would form around our planet. At first, it would look absolutely incredible. From space, Earth would look like a giant, sparkling jewel, a blue marble wrapped in a silver ribbon. But from the ground, our view of the sky would be changed forever. What you'd see would depend entirely on where you are on Earth. If you live near the equator, the rings would look like a thin, brilliant line of light, stretching from one horizon all the way to the other. A perfect glowing arch cutting the sky in half. If you were in the mid-latitudes, say in Europe or North America, you'd see a majestic curved band of light arcing high overhead. And if you lived near the poles, the rings might appear as a faint, glowing halo circling the entire horizon, like a distant, luminous mountain range. Unlike the moon, these rings wouldn't rise or set. They would always be there, a constant, unmoving feature of the sky. Our nights would never be fully dark again. This would completely change astronomy as we know it. The rings, made of countless pieces of rock and ice, would reflect a huge amount of sunlight back down to Earth. Even on a moonless night, the rings could shine so brightly that the sky would have a permanent, soft glow. Some parts of the world might experience a perpetual twilight. Imagine trying to sleep when it never gets truly dark. This would have a massive impact on the natural world. Nocturnal animals that rely on darkness to hunt or hide would struggle to survive. Even human sleep cycles could be disrupted, especially for our ancestors before the invention of electric lights. Our entire relationship with the night would be rewritten. But the effects would go far beyond just bright nights. Things are about to get a lot more serious. These rings wouldn't just be pretty to look at. They would cast enormous shadows. Depending on the time of year and their angle relative to the sun, the rings could block sunlight from reaching certain parts of the planet for hours each day. This would mean some regions would cool down significantly. Seasonal weather patterns could shift dramatically, and entire climate zones might move. Areas stuck under the ring shadows for long periods could become permanently colder, changing agriculture and ecosystems forever. Over decades, our global climate systems will be forced to adapt to this new reality. Scientists who study other planets, including researchers supported by NASA, run complex models to understand exactly how changes in sunlight distribution can transform a planet's environment, and the rings wouldn't last forever. The same gravity that created them would also work to destroy them. Over time, gravity and the slow drag from the very top of our atmosphere would start to pull ring particles downward. Small fragments would constantly rain down, entering the atmosphere. The result? Our skies will be filled with frequent meteor streaks. We're not talking about dangerous, world-ending impacts. Most of these particles will be no bigger than a grain of sand and would burn up harmlessly. But shooting stars would become an everyday sight. Imagine looking up on any given night and seeing dozens of meteors streaking across the sky. It would be a beautiful, constant light show, but also a constant reminder that Earth's magnificent rings were slowly but surely disappearing. Now let's think about our modern world. So much of our lives depends on satellites. GPS for navigation, weather forecasting, global communications, the internet, all of it relies on a network of machines orbiting our planet. A ring system would make space a minefield. Any satellite trying to pass through the ring plane would be at high risk of being hit and destroyed by fast-moving debris. Even a tiny particle traveling at orbital speeds could be catastrophic. Launching new rockets and satellites would become incredibly complex and dangerous. Space agencies would have to completely redesign orbits and launch trajectories to navigate around the rings. Getting into space, something we're just getting good at, would suddenly become 10 times harder. So, how long would these rings last? It depends on their size and what they're made of, but planetary rings are almost always temporary on a cosmic timescale. Earth's rings might last for thousands of years, or perhaps even a few million, but eventually gravity would win. Most of the particles would be pulled into the atmosphere and burn up as meteors. Some of the larger chunks might clump together over time to form one or more tiny new moons orbiting our planet. So Earth's rings wouldn't be a permanent feature. They'd be a spectacular but fleeting chapter in our planet's long history. So would rings make Earth uninhabitable? Probably not. Life would find a way to go on. But our world would be fundamentally different. We'd have brighter nights, a slightly shifted climate, constant meteor showers, and ecosystems that have been forced to adapt. Human civilization would adjust, just like we always have. But perhaps the biggest change wouldn't be physical. It would be psychological. Every single time we looked up, we would see this incredible structure in the sky. A constant reminder that we live on a truly unique planet, a planet with rings, something no human civilization has ever experienced before. In our solar system, the gas giants all have rings, but Earth is different. We have oceans, we have air, we have life. And maybe it's lucky we don't have rings. Because while they would be absolutely stunning to look at, they'd also be a constant reminder of a violent cosmic event in our past. So I have to ask, if Earth suddenly gained rings tomorrow, would you find them beautiful or would you find them terrifying? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Imagine this. If Earth had rings, our entire human story would be different. Our sky wouldn't be just a canvas of sun, moon, and stars. It would be dominated by a celestial arch, a constant reminder of our place in the cosmos. How would our ancestors have explained it? Maybe a bridge to the heavens, the shimmering spine of a sky serpent, or a divine promise etched across the firmament. Our myths, our religions, our art all would be profoundly shaped by this majestic sight. Every culture would have its own name, its own story for the rings. They would be woven into the fabric of our collective consciousness, a shared wonder that unites us all. Ever wonder what it would be like to wake up on an Earth with rings? Let me walk you through my day. Mornings are strange. Instead of a bright sunrise, a colossal shadow sweeps across the land as the rings block the sun. It's a slow, moving twilight that feels like a second dawn. By midday, the light is just different. The sun is out, but there's this constant, soft glow reflected from the rings above, like living under a giant cosmic lamp. But the nights, oh, the nights are spectacular. The rings light up the sky, brighter than any full moon you could imagine, casting glittering reflections on everything. It's a world painted in silver and shadow. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more real cosmic what-if scenarios, explained simply. Thanks for watching.